Hey, what is going on? Welcome to Do REI Deals in the State Pro Service YouTube channel. I'm very excited here. I'm Courtney Rollins with the State Pro Service and Do REI Deals. And as I said, I'm pretty excited to be able to interview this young man here that's doing some awesome things in the Charlotte area. I try to get up here and interview experts in the field of real estate and related so that, one, I can learn more and provide more service to the folks that I'm come in contact with, and to be able to share that with you all. So today we have Attorney Willie Fennell out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Great to have him on board. Not only is Willie an awesome attorney who focuses in real estate and some other areas he'll tell you about, but he's also I get to claim as one of my closest friends that I've been able to know for maybe 22 some odd years, man. Time flies.
Long time.
I know we look young and we look like babies, but good genes. So how's it going, Willie?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me, Courtney. As Courtney said, my name is Willie Fennell. I'm an attorney with Sigmund, Clark, Mackey, Hanvey, and Farrell. We're located in Hickory, North Carolina, servicing the Catawba County, Burke County,
Breaking up a little bit here. Coming in.
Here.
Technology. So can you tell some of the areas did we lose them? No, I got you on this side. Let's see. I think I got to ask you to unmute. There we go.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries, man.
But yeah, so my primary area of practice is real estate law. Also do some estate administration and small business law. So just those areas that touch real estate and that coincide with each other.
Oh, cool. Well, what led you to that? How'd you get involved? How'd you get to becoming an attorney in this field of work?
Believe it or not, it's probably kind of corny, but light Matlock as a kid, and would watch it with my grandfather all the time, and thought I wanted to be a great criminal defense attorney and have my investigator run in the middle of a big trial and hand me a piece of paper, and I break down the perpetrator on stand, and they admit to committing the crime and all of that, but practice criminal law coming out of law school and realized very quickly that wasn't for me. Started practicing real estate, learning real estate, and I really enjoy this area of law. I call it happy law. You have your happy buyers, your happy sellers, happy realtors, happy lenders, happy me. So much better than the criminal sphere for me.
I can imagine that, man. The happy law. Were you a Perry Mason fan too? I think he was a little bit before Matlock.
I wasn't really into Perry Mason. Matlock was my guy, though, man. The gray suit, Matlock was my guy.
That's the guy, man. Heck yeah. Oh, that's Andy Griffith too, North Carolina.
Yeah,
right?
Yep, North Carolina.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we both from North Carolina, as we may have told you earlier. Well, shoot, what's some of the things that why do you enjoy it? What's some of the things, if you think about, you did say about people being happy and all, but can you go a little deeper than that?
Well, one of the main things is just being a part of people realizing that dream of home ownership. It's one of the best ways to start creating generational wealth, and just being able to be a part of that for so many people is just an amazing feeling, especially your first-time home buyers or individuals that come from families that traditionally have not been able to own their own property, and they've worked very hard, especially if you have a lender that going through that process is very tedious. And, hopefully when they get to me and get to my closing table, we try to make it a joyous occasion, celebrate that occasion, and help them realize how big of a accomplishment that home ownership is and property ownership is, and just feels great helping them accomplish those goals.
Oh man, if you're watching this, you've probably are watching this because you are either an investor or you're interested in being an investor, maybe a wholesaler or a marketer. And perhaps you're interested in, what do you say, flipping houses where your end product is going to be sold to a home buyer, sometimes a first-time home buyer. And regardless, the home buyers that you're maybe targeting aren't used to the title process. Well, I'm assuming because it may be their first time or maybe second time buying a property. So it's really good to be able to keep a perspective on our end buyers and who's buying this. So we'd love to know, Willie, what are some of those things that a first time or maybe second time or someone who's not used to it can expect during the title process? Can you explain what the title process is? What is that? You know, can we just back up? What is that for North Carolina?
Yeah, so basically, as a attorney that represent in North Carolina, we represent buyers, and we also represent the lenders to a certain degree, but mainly buyers, and making sure that the property that they purchase is free and clear of all encumbrances. So what will happen is 9 times out of 10, we'll receive a offer to fully executed offer to purchase from a realtor. At that point, we'll start our title search process, just investigating the property, making sure that the property is owned by the people that are selling the property, making sure that if there are no liens on the property, and if there are any liens on the property, that we get those and that we take care of those and get those paid off at closing, ensuring that the seller doesn't have any judgments that would attach to the property. And if so, get those judgments and get those taken care of as well. So we'll do that title search process, and we'll submit what's called a preliminary title opinion to a title insurance company. Okay. And based off of our preliminary title opinion, the title insurance company will issue title insurance that pretty much protects the title of the property for as long as the purchaser or any of their heirs own the property. That title insurance policy will protect that property from certain things. So we'll do that. And then if it's a loan closing, we'll start working with the lender, balancing numbers, making sure that everything that's supposed to get paid during closing, whether that's a appraisal, inspection, any of those things, making sure that they're on the closing disclosure and that they get paid at closing. And we try our best to make sure that all runs smoothly, and the purchaser and the seller can just sit in the passenger seat and relax and come in on closing day and have a good time closing and finishing the process, and leave away with their goal of either selling their home or purchasing their home accomplished.
Amen to that, man, because everything you just said is something that I would never really want to go through and do. And it sounds complicated, but you go listen, folks, or you're listening right now, that's why having a great title company is worth your weight in gold, whether it's seller side or buyer side or representing both, because they're going to make sure that John, Jane, or somebody, Sally down the road is not going to come back and say, hey, I got a claim to this property, or I got a lien on this property. So having a great relationship with your title company is essential. And having clear expectations from your title company, like, this is the stuff that I need, is going to help the process. Again, they're going to take care of all the big stuff, but what are some of those things if I'm coming in as a buyer, or even if I'm preparing the seller, hey, this is what we need to make this thing go smoothly? What are some of the things, any tips you can give folks? I know you're not offering legal advice right now, but anything that you think that really helps?
In terms of the seller, just one of the things that we send out as soon as we get contracts is called a buyer and seller information sheet. With the seller, that information sheet will ask them for any mortgages or deeds of trust that they have on the property, corresponding loan numbers for them with the lender, so that we can reach out to those lenders, get those payoffs, and have those ready for closing. Things as simple as your name, whether or not you're married or not. Believe it or not, you have times where someone may be single when they purchase a property, and when they get ready to sell a property, they're married. And in North Carolina, we say 1 to buy, 2 to sell. So if you're married, your spouse will have to join in on signing that deed, because they have they have a marital interest in the property, which is a future interest. But if for some reason something were to happen to the owner, then that interest would go over to their spouse. So we want to make sure that that future interest is wiped out and clear. So they would have to sign the deed. Same thing from the buyer, whether or not they're married or not, that comes into play. For instance, if you were married and you wanted to purchase a property and didn't want to your spouse didn't want any interest or future interest in that, there are documents that can be executed that they can waive their spousal interest in all rights to the property, called a free trader agreement. Just basically says, hey, my spouse is going to purchase this property, waiving all spousal rights to the property or interest in the property that I may have based off the fact that I'm their spouse. So, things of that nature.
Any tips on how to break that to your spouse? like a prenup almost. Come on now.
Yeah, pretty much, almost. But believe it or not, it's more common than you would think. A lot of people actually do it, and we do it quite often. So a lot of times it does occur, and we usually don't have any problems with it at all.
So is it a situation where, like, you could say to the spouse, hey, one reason is if the creditors or something coming after me, I don't want them, or coming after you, I don't want them, would they have access to this property since they have future interest in any way? I don't know if that's not so clear.
Oh, let's just, and I think I'm understanding you. So you're saying if I purchase a property right now and I'm a single man, I'm not married, I get married, and so when I take the property, it's only in my name. If I get married in 2 years from now, and then I try to sell my home in 3 years, and my wife has a judgment against her, but it's not against me, will that attach to the property? No, you have to take the property as tenants by the entirety, which means you're married at the same time. And then that judgment has to attach to both of you.
That's good to know. Now, I'm not sure where you're looking at this from, but make sure that I'm assuming that may be state specific. And again, that's why.
Yeah, definitely very state specific. Yeah, this is only based off North Carolina law, only licensed to practice in North Carolina. So that would be the only state that I would be able to speak to.
Now, you did mention heirship and all, and I've recently have got into the world of probate. It's been a fascinating world. Could you explain to folks what probate is and how it may relate to the transactions in real estate?
So one misconception that people have, especially in North Carolina, that if someone has a will, then property is distributed per the will upon the death of the individual. That's not necessarily true. In North Carolina, that will has to go through the probate process in order for it to be valid. The probate process also is very good. Creditors have, from the moment that you die, creditors have a 2-year period in which they can place a claim on your estate to try to recover whatever you may owe them. The probate process shortens that period to 90 days. So it greatly shortens that period from 2 years to 90 days. So let's say, for instance, grandma dies, leaves the property. Grandma dies, property goes to kids and grandkids. Don't probate the estate. You would have to wait 2 years before you could properly sell that property. Jeez. Because creditors can come back and attach and pull that back into the estate. But if you probate the property, it's a 90-day period. And once that 90-day period has run, then you're good to go. And usually most attorneys, once you run the notice, go through the probate process, you run the notice to creditors and it runs for 1 week. Most closing attorneys will okay the closing at that time.
Okay, so once you go through the probate, the attorneys or the clerks will give you the thumbs up to be able to pay it. And a lot of people are paying, or not just to pay it, but to sell it. And a lot of people, I'm assuming, are selling it because if there are claims in that 90-day period, they can use that asset to pay it off or to distribute it to the heirs.
Well, you can if you open a estate, and then it will be the job of the closing attorney to make sure that they get those claims paid off.
All right, cool.
Or how can I say? That's what I would do. I just to be safe, I would pay those off myself. But you also can, once the property has been sold, you can make sure that you only pay the proceeds back to the estate. So if there are claims, those claims can get paid out the estate. So you won't pay the money to the individual heirs. The proceeds would go to the estate itself.
Okay. Well, I know for the last 2.5 years, I focused heavily on distressed properties and distressed sellers to purchase properties or to get the right to assign the contracts. But I've noticed already in this probate world that probate is not really fun for anyone. And
no, not at all.
People are like, they're treating me as if I'm like a godsend because I'm not coming in, hey, can I buy that property that, just your loved one just left? Or I'm coming in, hey, helping families navigate the probate process. We try to pick up everywhere where the attorneys either leave off, anything, and they're getting such a great warm feeling. But other thing I'm feeling almost like a goal is helping me in my own family, my own personal life, is to help people avoid probate. So are there things, I mean, I know you said you did some family or estate planning. What are some of the things that folks can do to help set them up to avoid probate for their family and for other folks,
In terms of their property, if you transfer your property out of your personal name into a family trust or something along those lines, and that helps you avoid probate. Waiting a 2-year period for the creditor statute to run. So, just waiting that 2-year period. Those are the two major ones.
Now, does your practice work with people in setting up trust and all? Or
yeah, we do.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yep, we do. Yeah, we
How
sure
do we get off this phone, man? I need to
yeah,
some stuff up, man. Heck,
we sure do.
That's awesome. So what's some things that like surprise you? Like, man, coming in that I'm really surprised about this world that, it just surprised you, I guess.
That's a good question. Good question. I don't know. I guess so much is so, become what's the word I'm looking for, become so used to it and seeing so much, it's not much that's surprising anymore. See a little bit of everything. I mean, when I say everything, I mean a little bit of everything. Just try to make sure that we do the right thing, do a good job. A lot of times when you have so many parties involved and they're waiting for this transaction to go through so that they can financially benefit from it, whether that's, your realtors, your lenders, or your buyers, your sellers may be asked to cut corners and do things may not be strictly above the ground, and, just try to stay away from those things. Do the right thing, make sure that we go through the process from step by step, and make sure that we fully protect our buyers. That's the main objective, to fully protect our buyers and make sure that they have a very smooth closing process.
Yeah. So I know I probably should ask this at the very beginning of the interview, but can you just share a little bit where you coming from and all, before and all the world, like who was Willie Fennell Jr., what brought you to this space right here?
I'm from Eastern North Carolina originally. Went to UNC Chapel Hill for undergrad, where we met and had some great times. After undergrad, was in the workforce and just looking for something better, so I decided to go back to law school. And like I said, I wanted to practice criminal law at first. Started practicing criminal law, didn't really enjoy that. I had a friend from law school that was very heavy in real estate, and just talking to him and started learning from him. And we ended up partnering together and started our own firm. And we were together for many years, just recently joined a larger firm as partners. So we've been here since March of 2022 as partners, and I'm really loving it. Larger firm, handling way more complex issues, So it's been a great journey so far.
Heck yeah, man. All right, this may be kind of silly because it may be like anybody who's trying to buy a property, but if I or someone comes across, like, how do I know who's the ideal referral for you?
Talk to anyone, man. I mean, if it I feel like what's for me is for me. Willing to talk to anyone. If it's a situation where we don't align, help you find someone that you do align with. But you know, anyone that has any real estate issues or are looking to purchase or sell real estate, be more than happy to speak with them and help them accomplish whatever goals they're trying to accomplish.
Hey, the connector, the go-giver. And folks, I'm not just saying this because this is my friend, but I am saying this because my friend, I have firsthand knowledge of, we have a pretty close-knit friend group. And I say Willie Fennell, you've always been one of the most just consistent and always there for anybody in pretty much any situation, man. I've always appreciated that. And I'm sure it flows through to your clients and with your teammates and stuff, man. So I appreciate it, man.
Definitely.
How can people find you and you all if they wanted to ask some more deeper questions specific to them? You
can email me. My email is willie.fennell@sigmundclark.com. We do have a Facebook page, Sigmund Clark.
Sigmund, is that with SIGMUND?
SIGMONCLARK.
All right, I'll make sure that's in the notes and all.
And also my number 828-328-2596.
2596. Well, heck yeah. Well, I'm not sure when you all are watching this. We were actually supposed to see each other. This is around December 3rd. Our Tar Heels are in the championship game. It doesn't look like
Heels.
Go Heels, man. But I tell you, these last 2 weeks been rough for basketball and football, bro.
It has, man. It's been little needs some victories here. It's been rough.
Spoiled Clemson. I don't even think does Clemson have a chance at the bowl?
I think they're ranked in like the top 10.
So they have an outside chance in the ACC, but hopefully we can spoil that for them and all.
Yeah.
Oh man, I really appreciate you giving me your time.
Anytime. I appreciate the invitation. Courtney's a great guy, works extremely hard. He's, like you said, we have a friend group, we in a group text, and he's up sending motivational messages every morning around 4 a.m. I know because I'm on my way to work. I like to get here pretty early before the phones start ringing and assistants and paralegals start coming in and out my office door. But yeah, a great guy, works extremely hard and wants the best for everyone that he works with.
I appreciate it,
man. I'm proud of it.
Proud of you too, brother. And I appreciate us being able to put this out to folks. And if you all want to reach out to me, I'm not sure where you were looking at this from, but you can also go to doreideals.com if you're looking for more of the investor and wholesale and all that different side. Tons of free resources. I'm not selling any product at all, really just trying to document the journey. As I said, it helps me hold myself accountable, and I get to learn and grow and, expose you all to amazing people like Willie. And if you're interested in if you need support with your probate or anything like that, that is outside or with attorney, holla at Willie Fennell Jr. And anything outside of that he's gonna go tell you to go do that you might need help, whether it's making sure you got the right trespassing signs on your property or make sure it's winterized, or making sure even outside of real estate, definitely consider Estate Pro Service, because we know that this full service that we provide is not necessarily something that's out there, and attorneys are amazing, and still the probate process can be daunting. And also, go ahead and avoid probate. Go holler at Willie Fennell Jr. or someone who's in a family or an estate planner and talk specifically about yours, because a will is not just enough. Having joint ownership or assuming that you have everything, your bank accounts and all, is not enough. You need to make sure your assets, your title, and all that stuff are lined up properly. We all talk about, or a lot of us talk about, generational wealth. That is one way we can make sure we have generational. All of us, from my understanding, have an expiration date, so we can at least set our family up well by doing what naturally comes. So man, Willie, appreciate it. And
Anytime, my brother.
I'm
Anytime.
gonna stop this recording and rock and roll, my brother.
Sounds good, man. Have a great one.
You too.